Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's big schemes are in focus as he seeks a rare third term in the nation's ongoing general election.
Yeah, one of his flagship projects is the Make in India scheme that aims to transform the country into a manufacturing hub.
Ishan Garg pays a visit to India's most populated state to find out if Make in India is a hit or miss among voters who went to the polls this week.
I am travelling to Agra, just 200 kilometers from the capital New Delhi in western Uttar Pradesh. The Taj Mahal is what makes the city famous around the world, but its character is defined by its vibrant and diverse population. More than 80% of the population of Agra are Hindus, and hundreds of thousands belong to the minority communities, which means that in some sense Agra really is a microcosm of the wider state of Uttar Pradesh, which is the most populous state in the country. And that means that this state has an outsized impact on the results of India's general elections. It's one of the reasons why the federal government has made a concerted effort to prop up Uttar Pradesh as India's next big driver of growth.
भारत अगर आज दुनिया के लिए ब्राइट स्पॉट है तो यूपी भारत के ग्रोथ को ड्राइव करने वाला एक अहम नेतृत्व दे रहा है.
Agra is one of the cities directly benefiting from Mr. Modi's Make in India project. The scheme aims to incentivize domestic manufacturing and make India an export-led economy. Agra's new metro trains were built by French manufacturer Alstom in Gujarat state under this scheme and are already in service. Voters also support the city being made a part of India's ambitious defence industrial corridor that aims to transform the nation into a net defence supplier.
हम डिपेंड थे जापान पर या कुछ चीज़ें जैसे कि आपके मैकेनिकल के संबंधित में आज हम खुद ही मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कर रहे हैं. इसके अलावा जो हम आज प्रेजेंट टाइम में फाइटर प्लेन तक हम अपने खुद बना रहे हैं, अपनी मिसाइल्स बना रहे हैं.
जो भी मोदी जी की जो पहल है वो काफ़ी अच्छी है और हम तो यही चाहेंगे कि जो भी बन रहा है चीज़ें वो हमारे देश की खुद की बनी हुई चीज़ें हों. उनका फ़ायदा हमारे देश में लोगों को रोज़गार प्रोवाइड करने में काफ़ी हेल्प होती है उससे.
A key source of employment for Agra's local population is its indigenous leather industry. It's responsible for roughly 30% of all leather shoes made in India.
Around 35 to 40% of Agra's population is earning bread and butters directly or indirectly from this industry.
Dower Group is the biggest player in Agra. More than 1,500 people here cobbled together footwear worn in India and abroad. The company says it's benefited from the BJP government's business-friendly policies. It includes simplified processes to get permits, lower corporate taxes and easier insolvency procedures. But the high cost of production for this labour-intensive sector means it's a struggle to stitch together high profits.
The capital cost in India is much higher. The world is getting at 0 to 2%. We are working at 8 to 10%. So futuristic growth, if we see, or the scaling up, it becomes little difficult at this.
The problems are even greater for those dreaming on a shoestring budget. Naval Kishore, who works in the Dower factory, says schemes like Make in India don't apply to the poorest. According to him, he's tried multiple times to start his own venture after working in this sector for decades, but to no avail.
तो उन्होंने कहा तो तुम्हारा तो कोई रोजगार दिख रहा नहीं, चाहे तो तुम्हारा कोई छोटा मोटा कारखाना हो तो उसमें तुम्हें पैसे उठा के मतलब दिए जाएं. तो फिर उसने मेरा लोन कैंसिल कर दिया. फिर मैं उसकी आस ही छोड़ दी. फिर मैंने अब काम में देखते हैं काम होगा जो.
Small businesses lining Agra's famed leather market say they feel mostly cut off from the Make in India scheme. Some tell me small businesses haven't benefited from the big government schemes and still rely on their traditional craftsmanship to lure domestic customers. Economists argue these policies could help people, although gradually.
This question is linked to how quickly the effects of markets sort of trickle down all the way down to the hinterland that you're saying, or the rural areas. And trickle down happens on its own, but happens very slowly.
Still, the government is relying on big domestic and international firms to utilize the Make in India scheme to drive India's growth and employment numbers. Less than 200 kilometers from here, Samsung has set up its largest mobile manufacturing plant. Another South Korean giant, Hyundai Motors, is also investing some $1.5 billion to set up an electric vehicle plant in the same state. Make in India is a project that touches the lives of everyday people. Here we are traveling in a car made by India's biggest selling car manufacturer, Maruti Suzuki. It started off in 1981 as part of India's first big push to make cars more affordable. And now its made in India cars are being exported across the global south. It's setting exactly the kind of example that Prime Minister Narendra Modi would want from his marquee project. Yet the questions over high unemployment numbers continue haunting the government. The government hasn't clarified how many jobs the Make in India scheme has created. Its periodic labour force survey puts the unemployment rate between 2022 to 2023 at 3.2%. Just days before, a report from the International Labour Organization said 83% of India's unemployed were youth. Analysts believe traditional industries like leather and textile industries can help tackle unemployment better than the tech and services sector.
You need more investment, and you need more investment in labor-intensive industries, textiles, footwear, shoes, toys, leather industries. These are the industries traditionally that give you a higher employment elasticity per unit of investment. And these are the industries that we need to focus on unless we take off.
More investments could help Agra's centuries-old leather industry and its hundreds of thousands of employees, which could in turn make the Make in India a scheme that uplifts millions and not just the few. Ishan Garg, CNA, Agra.